guys, and welcome back to another All Heart video. Today I thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about open-ended toys. I want to be able to show you some of our favorites and also give you some sorts of examples of what constitutes an open-ended toy as opposed to a more closed-ended toy. So when you walk into a Montessori classroom or even a Montessori homeschool for that matter, you're going to see that a lot of the materials are pretty different than something that you would see in a traditional playroom. Montessori materials are specifically designed to encourage children to be able to play on their own. So they are very self-directed learning tools. And they are specifically designed to help your child learn and master a lot of very difficult concepts. These Montessori activities are very important for the development of your child's focus and concentration. And I love that children are able to repeat the activity over and over again until they feel that they've actually mastered it. One of the other things that I really love about working with Montessori specific materials are that if you see that your child is incredibly interested in a particular concept or a particular area, then you can always offer extensions to those materials. So they always get progressively harder as your child starts to really understand all of these concepts. So that's just a little bit about the differences between what I consider more closed-ended toys, because they are toys, like I said, that do serve a particular purpose. And they do have a specific way of being able to work with these materials. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, these are materials that you are going to find traditionally in a Montessori classroom. Now, it is important to note that it is not recommended that you start implementing a lot of these Montessori tools into a traditional playroom unless you are thinking of homeschooling your child at home and not sending them to a Montessori school. And the reason for that is because they don't want your child to detract from wanting to work with the materials when they are at school. And it's definitely okay for you to have some of these Montessori activities or have the Montessori trays and incorporate that. But you just don't want to incorporate a lot of the same Montessori specific tools that you're going to see in their classroom at home, because once again, they're not going to want to do it when they are actually at those Montessori schools. So this gives you the perfect opportunity to introduce a lot of these wonderful open-ended toys. So what are open-ended toys? Open-ended toys are simply toys that children can utilize however they want. That means that there are no instructions, there are no sequential guides for how to specifically use any of these materials. This means that your child is free to be able to play and engage with all of these open-ended toys in whichever way their imagination tells them to use them. These open-ended toys are a wonderful way for your children to be able to express their creativity, for them to be able to really work around these materials freely. It teaches them all about social emotional skills and also really engaging their imagination. Not to mention that these toys give them the opportunity to really entertain themselves, and it really keeps them from getting bored. Oftentimes, you're going to see that your child likes to replicate a lot of the things that they see at home, which is perfect because that gives them a lot more practice with these pretend play materials. And then when they go back home, then they're able to utilize those realistic materials a lot better. There are a lot of benefits to creative play, but one of the ones that really stands out to me is that of creative leadership. And that is where your child gets to decide the outcome for a particular scenario that they are working out. Not to mention the fact that they have that freedom of play and they are able to work with these materials without judgment or correction from the materials or from us. And it really allows them to play with these materials and they're just less concerned with doing the activity correctly, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead and get into showing you some of our favorite open-ended materials, and hopefully you can start introducing some of these into your play rotation. Magnetic marble runs are so wonderful for building your child's problem-solving skills. They get to configure all of the pieces, and they get to run trial runs to see if their configurations actually worked. So they get to tweak it here and there, and it is absolutely one of my child's favorites. There are a lot of different ones that you can choose from, so I'll try and link a few different ones down below because I know that this one is a lot harder to come by. Play silks are another wonderful open-ended tool, and they are so versatile. Right now my children were using them to cover up their rainbow bridge, or if you happen to have a pickler triangle, I know my children love being able to cover up their pickler triangle with these play silks, and all of a sudden the triangle has now become a wonderful tent or a cave, and it's just the perfect little hiding spot. So right here you can see that my children are now using them as little capes. So again, they're incredibly versatile. I'll make sure to try and do a video very soon about the different ways that you can utilize these play silks because they really are a lot of fun. The Duplo building blocks are another wonderful open-ended tool, and they have so many benefits to them. They get to learn teamwork and social skills, really great for expanding their language and communication, not to mention perfect for problem solving and early mathematics, and they get to learn spatial awareness. They're perfect for them to be able to experiment how to create different towns or buildings, cities, anything that comes to their imagination. It's just really great to expand upon their creativity. Magnetic tiles offer children the opportunity to use and develop a whole range of skills, like the ability to build 2- and 3-dimensional shapes. It really allows the child to be able to visualize what 3-dimensional shapes actually look like. And because they're utilizing like triangles and squares, they're able to identify different types of shapes. And it really allows them to recognize patterns, sorting, stacking. They learn about symmetry. They learn about how magnets work. And they're really great for problem solving and creativity because they're able to create whatever it is that comes to mind. And it is just really good for challenging your child's imagination. Balls are another really important open-ended tool. They can really utilize it to play a lot of different things. So right now my children are utilizing their little grappets and one of our little wooden balls in order to knock the little grappet toys down. Now we keep a variety of different types of balls on hand. That way my children can utilize different ones for either tossing, bouncing, and the ones like these that are wooden balls they can roll around. Here you see my son taking out one of his play mats. He loves being able to use this with a lot of his other wooden toys, and they like to create a bit of a community here. So you're going to see that they are utilizing their Grimm's houses to create a lot of the little houses that are meant for some of their little wooden people. They're utilizing their little trucks and their school bus that are bringing the children home from school. And my son is also going to be using his railroad set, which he loves to be able to play with on a daily basis. So he is setting it up over the rug so that the train can travel through the city. We like to keep a lot of different types of blocks in our playroom. from the ones that have the sensory elements inside to the Tegu magnetic blocks to regular building blocks to Lincoln logs and also the oversized building blocks as well. But they are all really great for boosting that creativity. Also, it's a fantastic way to introduce the meaning of big or small. They can match them, count them, they can sort them. There's just a lot of different things that children are able to do with blocks. Not only is it great for developing their vocabulary, but it's also really good for improving their math skills because it teaches them all about gravity, balance, and even early geometry because a lot of these blocks are in different shapes and sizes. So there's just a lot of benefits to blocks, and that's why we like to keep a few different ones in our playroom. The rainbow stacking toy is another very popular and fan favorite of a lot of parents, and I see them all over Instagram, and for good reason. They're very, very versatile. Children are able to use them as bridges or as little mazes for their cars or in order to be able to kind of roll their play balls under them. A lot of times they're, perfect for stacking or even being able to create different designs. But trust me when I say that your children will be able to find a way to play with the rainbow stacking toys. We like to keep a lot of sensory activities inside the playroom as well. I find that it is perfect for them to be able to practice a lot of their transferring skills or their pouring skills. So things that they are going to need to learn and utilize when they are doing things for themselves inside the home. So it really does just give them added practice. Aside from the lentils, we also like to keep Play-Doh or moon sand. So we like to keep a lot of different types of sensory materials, but they are a lot of fun. They do instill a lot of creativity in your children, and they are a really nice hands-on way for them to be able to learn and to play and imagine and create things. Playing with dolls can provide really important growth for children regardless of gender. They learn a lot of really important social skills during these early childhood years. They get to learn about responsibility, empathy, and compassion when they are taking care of their doll, just the same way as you, the parents, take care of your children. So a lot of times they are reenacting a lot of the things that they see around the home. And they also get to play and use their imagination in a lot of creative ways while playing with either their stuffed animals or their dolls. Introducing barn or farm animals are another really wonderful open-ended tool. Not only do they get to create stories and they get to use their imagination while playing with a lot of these toys, but it really is wonderful for them to be able to identify the different habitats that the animals live in. And also, it's just a wonderful learning opportunity for them. The ones that we like to utilize are the Holtztiger ones, but they do come in a lot of different types of materials, different types of brands. So really just try and choose the ones that are going to work for you. But they all work the same way. They're perfect for your children to be able to learn scale. They can learn about different environments. They can learn to identify them. They can sort them. They can count them. They're great for language development and storytelling as well. Arts and crafts supplies enable your child to be creative. It also really helps develop their sense of focus and concentration, and it gives them an outlet for self-expression. They learn so many things by being able to utilize different types of tools, and that's why I like to keep a lot of different supplies on hand. But they learn how to cut when they're using their child-sized scissors. They learn fine motor skills and pre-writing skills. They learn how to use watercolors. They learn how to use acrylic colors. They learn how to glue. They learn how to draw. It's just such a wonderful way for them to be able to learn and be creative. Loose parts are another way for children to be able to use their imagination. They can use them as food. They can use them to create really beautiful mosaic pictures. They can also be used for different sorting activities where they can sort them according to size, according to texture, or according to color. My daughter also loves to utilize them in order for her to learn the different shapes. And it's also really wonderful for them to be able to sort them according to the different spectrums of color, from the lightest purple to the darkest purple. So loose toys are just one of my absolute favorites. It's one of the reasons why they have their own big space for my children to be able to utilize them. And I just can't say enough good things about loose parts. And that will do it for this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something from it. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I do post Montessori videos every single week. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you are notified of when I next post a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again very, very soon.